Hi guys, welcome to this video series. We are in the module 2. Module 2 is nothing but gas power cycle, and under gas power cycle we are going to discuss about Brayton cycle, ideal Brayton cycle. No, in this video I will give an explanation about what are the basic processes are happening inside the ideal Brayton cycle, and I am going to analyze about, or we are going to discuss about or analyze about how efficiency of Brayton cycle is derived. Now, we'll start with the introduction of gas power cycle or gas turbine cycle. Now, this cycle is also called as Brayton cycle. It's named after George Brayton. To honor the scientist, we are given the name, or we are named this cycle as Brayton cycle. And it's also called as constant pressure heat addition cycle, heat engine or heat addition cycle. We can call this. Okay, the difference between the Brayton cycle and previous Otto cycle or diesel or dual cycle are the Otto cycle, heat is added into the system by keeping volume as constant, and in diesel cycle we are adding heat when keeping pressure as a constant, and dual cycle we are keeping partly we are adding to the system when volume remains constant. Remaining part we are adding to the system when pressure remains constant. And in all three cycle, heat is rejected when the volume remains constant. Whereas in Brayton cycle, heat is added into the system when the pressure remains constant, whereas heat rejection takes place even the pressure remains constant. The difference between this and that is that in first three cycle, air standard cycle, heat rejection takes place when the volume remains constant, whereas in Brayton cycle, gas rejection also takes place when pressure remains constant. This cycle is also known as Joule cycle. Okay, this is the schematic representation of this basic open loop gas turbine cycle or Brayton cycle, ideal Brayton cycle. Okay, now there are three components are available here. The component, first component is compressor, then combustion chamber, and the turbine. Okay, compression takes place, and combustion process where heat addition takes place, and turbine expansion takes place. And the four processes which gas turbine cycle undergoes are isentropic compression, constant pressure energy addition or heat addition, isentropic expansion, and constant pressure heat rejection or energy rejection. These are the four processes are undergoing in this process. And when we see the PS diagram and TS diagram, sorry, PV diagram and TS diagram, it looks like something like this. There are four processes. Start from state 1 to 2. It's an isentropic process. So entropy remains constant. We can see S1 and S2 remains constant in the TS diagram. And 2 to 3 is the constant pressure heat addition process. Is isobaric process, and pressure remains and temperature increases drastically because of heat combustion takes place here. And 3 to 4 again is a isentropic process. S3 and S4 is constant. You can easily observe that in the TS diagram. If you know how to draw the PV diagram and TS diagram, it is very easy for you to do the derivation of efficiency. Now let us jump into how the efficiency of gas turbine is calculated. Okay, see, this is the basic PV diagram and TS diagram. Everyone knows what is this. I just now explained. Process 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression, and 2 to 3 is the isobaric heat addition. 3 to 4 is again isentropic heat expansion. 4 to, sorry, not heat expansion, isobaric expansion, and 4 to 1 is the isobaric heat rejection. You can easily observe here the difference. Heat addition takes place when pressure remains constant, and heat rejection is also takes place when pressure remains constant in TS diagram as well as PV diagram. You can observe this. So there are the four processes are isentropic compression, constant pressure energy addition, isentropic expansion, and constant pressure heat rejection. Okay, now we all know that efficiency is nothing but the output, the ratio between the output to the input. The output is nothing but the heat net work done, and the input is nothing but heat addition. So we can see, we can easily derive that heat net work done is nothing but the difference between the heat addition and the heat rejection. That is nothing but Q1 minus Q2. You can observe in the bottom line. Q1 minus Q2 is nothing net work done, and divided by Q1. Q1 is nothing but heat input. So the ratio between these two is nothing but efficiency of the cycle. And energy Q1 we can calculate that MCP T3 minus T2 because it's a constant pressure heat addition process. Pressure remains constant. So MCP temperature difference is it takes place between the process 2 to 3. The difference is T3 minus T2. And again energy heat rejection is MCP because it is constant pressure. And the temperature difference is this is takes place between the state to 4 and 1. So the temperature difference is 4 minus T4 minus T1. Now you take these two value Q1 minus Q2 and substitute that value here in this equation, efficiency equation. So MCP is a constant and remove this, remaining will be 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. This is the efficiency general formula. To simplify this, we can take T1 outside from the numerator, and then if you take it out, you will get the expression something like T4 by T1 minus 1 in the numerator, and the denominator T2 we are taking it out, and T3 minus T2 minus 1. And we know that pressure ratio of the compressor or the turbine is the amount of the ratio between the outlet pressure to the inlet pressure. And moreover it's an ideal process P3, whatever the amount of expansion takes place or compression takes place is equal to the expansion pressure. So P3 by P4 will also equal to P2 by P1. The pressure ratio is P2 by P1. So the pressure ratio is constant for both compressor as well as combustion expansion devices, and both undergoes the process of isentropic process. We know that relation the PV is equal to gamma is a relation for isentropic process, and now we are going to relate between temperature and pressure. This common well-known relationship will help us to simplify the given efficiency. The, that is nothing but T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. Same way T3 by T4 is equal to T3, so that it is P3, T4, so that it will be P4. So T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. And we all also know that T2 by T1, that is the temperature rise in the compressor, is equal to the temperature drop in the expansion device, turbine, because it both are in equal 100% efficient, and all are is ideal process. When ideal process, like heat loss or temperature loss will be 0. In that case T2 by T1 will be equal to T3 by T4, and you just rearrange the term, you will get T4 by T1 is equal to T3 by T2. So the general efficiency which we have derived in the previous slide is this. In this T4 by T1 is replaced by T3 by T2. So numerator value, denominator value both will be having the T3 by T2, so that we can remove this term in both. The remaining is efficiency. Efficiency eta is equal to 1 minus T1 by T2. We also know that T1 by T2 is nothing but P1 by P2 to the power of gamma minus 1. And we know that P2 divided by P1 is the pressure ratio. So 1 minus 1 by Rp, the pressure ratio to the power of gamma minus 1 minus gamma. This is the general efficiency of general term for the efficiency of ideal open gas turbine cycle. And to calculate the net work done of Brayton cycle is it's very as simple as already I explained. The net work done is equal to the difference between the heat addition and heat rejection. So heat addition and heat rejection formula MCP T30 you replace here, and take the MCP which are common in both terms outside. You will get T3 minus T4 minus of T2 minus T1. And again in the inner term take T3 outside, lowest value in both you take it outside T3, and the second term lowest value is T1, so take out not lowest value in the initial state we can say initial state condition, you take it out of T1. So T3 is equal to this will become equal to minus 1 T4 by T3, and same way T1 outside T2 by T1 minus 1, and T2 by T1 we know that P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1, and P3 by T4 we also know that P3 by P4 to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So replace those two value here, we will get relation like this. So T3 instead of this 1 by Rp of Rp to the power, Rp is nothing but pressure ratio, and minus this is T2 by T1 is directly we can take it as pressure ratio P2 by P1. So Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by gamma minus. This is the net work done formula. Okay, and no, we have calculated this because to identify the what is the maximum pressure ratio required to get the maximum efficiency, what is the optimum pressure ratio required to find the maximum work output, so that the efficiency will also be maximum. To do that, we need to differentiate the network done with respect to the pressure ratio and equate that entire term into equal to 0. We will get the optimum pressure ratio. So to do that, we know that W net is this term which we have derived in previous slide, and to differentiate this with respect to RP, pressure ratio. So the complete term will become like this. And in this MCP, no, it's common in these two. Remove it because we are going to equate this. No, this term will go to the right hand side. MCP will get cancelled. Remaining is and this gamma minus 1 divided by gamma is also common. So remove it. Remaining is T3 RP to the power this term 1 minus 2 gamma divided by gamma, that is equal to T1 RP to the power minus 1 by gamma. And T3 by T2 will get T3 by T1 will get nothing but bring the RP down and do mathematical manipulation or simplification. You will get the final term is like this. T3 by T1 is equal to pressure ratio to the power 2 into gamma minus 1 into gamma. So T3 by T1 is this value, and RP is nothing but T3 by T1 to the power reciprocal of this gamma divided by 2 into gamma minus 1. So the optimum pressure ratio is T3 by T3 is the maximum temperature of the gas turbine, and T1 is the minimum temperature of the cycle. So if you know the maximum temperature and minimum temperature of the cycle, it's easy for us to find the optimum pressure ratio. If you know the optimum pressure ratio, it is easy for us to calculate the achieve the maximum efficiency in the gas powered circuit. That's all, guys. We will see in the next class some how to solve some numericals. Till then, cheers. Bye bye. Take care.